Wait till he get a belt.
Yeah.
He ain't did nothing in the welterweight today.
You
When
have
he get
did
a belt,
nothing.
when he
You
get a
have
belt,
did
you want to
You
go
have
over
did
there. Keith Thurman want to go over there, and now y'all want to say, "Oh, I ain't fought nobody," but I got a belt now, so why?
Okay. Sean Porter got a belt too.
So now
Sean Porter got a belt too. Sean Porter. So why am I go to easy road and you not Sean Porter out? So why am I go to easy road and you not Sean Porter out?
So why am I go to easy road and you not Sean Porter out? So why am I go to easy road and you not Sean Porter out?
Who mans is this? Get him the fuck out of here.
So what do I do, YouTube? It's your boy KD in this thing, and I'm back at y'all again with another video. Okay, so before we get going on the video, man, y'all know what to do. Go on here, hit the like button. If you're new here, be sure to subscribe one time for your boy, so we can continue to grow like we need to grow on this channel, man. Y'all know what time it is, man. So yeah, bro, y'all see what the title of the video is, man. Terence Crawford was stripped of the IBF title. The same IBF title he won 2 months ago after beating the brakes off Errol Spence Jr. The same IBF title that Errol Spence held on to year after year after year, right? The same IBF title that he's only defended one time more than 3 years ago against Carlos Ocampo, right? The same IBF title that held it down for Errol Spence through his multiple injuries and long layoffs, the eye injury, the car accident, the blah 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 blah, right? The same IBF title stripped Terence Crawford after only having the belt for about 2 months now, right? And you know, I wish I could say that this kind of thing surprised me. I wish I could say I was shocked by this information, right? I wish I could say that, right? But I'm not shocked. I'm not shocked at all, right? I'm not shocked at all because it seems to be the same old story when it comes to Terence Bud Crawford. Niggas doing any and everything to keep Terence Bud Crawford out the way. Niggas doing any and everything to duck, dodge, maneuver, and pivot their way the fuck up out of a Terence Bud Crawford fight, right? And when I mean niggas, I mean one person in particular, right? And y'all know who I'm talking about. The same guy whose fan base just grew ×5 after Errol Spence got his ass whooped by Terence Bud Crawford. None other than Jaron Boots Ennis, right? None other than Jaron Boots Ennis, right? None other than Boots, right? And I know what the fanboys are gonna say. What you mean, KD? Boots didn't do anything wrong. He's been waiting a long time, KD. Right? I know what you ridiculous ass niggas are gonna say about Boots. Right? I know what you niggas gonna say, right? But at the end of the day, bro, Boots don't want no smoke with a Terence Bud Crawford, bro. It's written all on the walls. It's written in the stars. It's written in the sky. That nigga don't want no goddamn smoke with a Terence Bud Crawford, right? Right? And let me make myself very clear when I say this shit, right? Because Boots himself may actually want to get in the ring with a Terence Bud Crawford. He may actually want to, right? May. I use that word very loosely. He may actually want to. But it's very clear that Boots' team don't want no smoke with a Terence Bud Crawford. It's very clear, bro. It's very clear dumb niggas don't want no smoke with a Terence Bud Crawford, right? It's very clear. And this move is yet another example of them niggas not wanting no smoke. Point blank period in the discussion. Don't believe me? Let me break this motherfucker down for you. So first of all, we all know that Jaron Boots Ennis was #1 in the WBO at one point, right? We all know he was #1 in the WBO. right? In a division where the champion, Terence Bud Crawford, was consistently and constantly fighting his mandatories, right? Compared to his counterpart, Earl Spence, who hadn't fought a mandatory since Carlos Ocampo, Terence Bud Crawford had been fighting his mandatories back to back to back to back. So at a time where Terence Bud Crawford was consistently and constantly fighting his mandatory, Jerron Boots Ennis, ranked number 1 in the WBO, decided that it would be a better idea to fight in an IBF eliminator, right? Rather than stay in the WBO sanctioning body and challenge the champion for a belt. So that is clue number 1, that this nigga didn't want no smoke with a Terence Bud Crawford, right? Hint number 2, that this nigga don't want no smoke with a Terence Bud Crawford. Terence Bud Crawford approached him about a fight on BLK Prime. Boots and his promoter, Boots and his manager or father, Bozy Ennis, whatever, them niggas admitted on camera that they didn't have a contract with Showtime, but yet and still chose to be loyal to Showtime, thus canceling themselves out of the opportunity to fight Terence Bud Crawford for a belt, right? Yet another indication that these niggas want no smoke with a Terence Bud Crawford, right? But then here we are right now with this situation in the IBF, right? And the thing about it is, the IBF, we know, along with the other sanctioning bodies, are bought and paid for by a lot of the promoters, right? That's the only way that you can explain it. How else can you explain the fact that Earl Spence was able to hold on to the IBF belt all these years without fighting a mandatory, other than the fact that these organizations and these sanctioning bodies are bought and paid for by the promoters, right? Case in point, prime example, Al Heyman, right? So if they're bought and paid for by Al Heyman, and they kept Earl Spence afloat all these years without no issues, don't y'all think that it's strange that magically, after 2 months of having a belt, Bud Crawford is stripped? Right? That makes zero sense. Especially from an organization in the same weight division that held down one of their fighters over 3 years without fighting a mandatory, right? So the only way to explain this is literally to admit that these niggas didn't want Bud Crawford to have the belt, right? The promotional companies that bought and paid for Earl Spence to maintain the belt all these years, right? That's the only way you can explain it. These niggas don't want Bud Crawford to have the belt. I mean, there's literally no other way to explain that, right? You don't hold on to a belt or maintain a belt for 3 to 4 years without having to defend it not one time, right? You don't hold on to a belt for 3 to 4 years without having to defend it one time. All of a sudden, to when the belt changed hands, now all of a sudden the belt is being nah, it don't work like that, right? So that's the only way to explain it. But here's the thing, right? Now that we've established that, what would be the reason that they want Terence Bud Crawford to be stripped of the belt, right? What would be the reason for that? Because honestly and truly, if you're Jerron Boots Ennis and you're the challenger, if you truly want the fight with a Terence Bud Crawford, wouldn't it make more sense to pressure the sanctioning bodies to issue like an official mandatory? Like, wouldn't it make more sense for these dudes to mandate the fight first? Give a deadline, right? For two dudes to fight or negotiate or get the fight done before stripping Terence Bud Crawford of the belt. Like every other sanctioning body, in every other situation, there's usually a deadline. They usually mandate the champion versus the challenger, and then they give a deadline for when that fight has to be agreed to or taking place or whatever the situation is, right? They don't usually just strip the champion without any kind of notice, right? Or any kind of resolution to how they can remain the champion in their sanctioning body, right? So if you're Jerome Boots Ennis, if you really want the fight, why wouldn't you pressure the IBF to go that route? And when I say Jerome Boots Ennis, I'm talking about him and his team. Why wouldn't you pressure the IBF to go that route if what you truly want is the fight, right? So the only real logical way to explain this is that these niggas really didn't want the fight because they made no effort, they made no attempt to try to get the fight at all, other than Boots saying, yeah, I want that fight. Other than him saying, yeah, he'll take that fight, or yeah, he want that fight. There's been no effort to try to make the fight happen, right? And this further leads me to the conclusion that these niggas really don't want no smoke with a Terence Bud Crawford, right? You get this man stripped of the belt, but the only real reason Bud has to fight Jerome Boots Ennis would have been to satisfy his obligation as a champion fighting his mandatory. That's the only real reason for Bud to fight Boots, right? That would have been the only real reason for him to fight Boots. Period. And they know Terence Bud Crawford fights his mandatories. That's his only real reason to fight Boots. So if you take that away, there's no real reason to fight Boots Ennis at all. He don't bring no money to the table. He's not a big draw, nothing like that. He's not holding a belt in a division that Bud is trying to be undisputed in. Bud is already undisputed, right? Bud ain't gonna get no real credit for beating a Jerome Boots Ennis. There's literally absolutely nothing to gain and everything to lose with this fight. But then to top it off, Boots ain't even a mandatory for a belt that he holds. There's no longer even an obligation for Terence Bud Crawford to fight Jerome Boots Ennis. And taking that into consideration, it leaves me, and it should leave you, questioning whether or not these niggas ever wanted the fight, right? These niggas ever wanted the fight, right? But I'm gonna take it a step further and say, ain't no question, these niggas definitely don't want no smoke with a Terence Bud Crawford. It's written in the sky, it's written in the atmosphere, it's written, right? These niggas don't want no smoke with a Terence Bud Crawford, right? I think my biggest issue with PBC and these Showtime niggas and, you know, all these niggas, I think my biggest issue with these niggas is not that they don't want no smoke, but that they act like they want smoke when they really don't, right? They act like they want smoke, but they really don't. Boots know he don't want no smoke. Boots team know they don't want no smoke, but yet they want to act like they want smoke. But y'all niggas really don't want no smoke, because y'all have done nothing to pursue the fight with a Terence Bud Crawford. You ain't done nothing, right? How are you going to get the champion to fight you without putting in no effort in order to get the fight done? Boots don't even want to say Terence Bud Crawford name the wrong way out of fear that he might turn around and take the goddamn fight, right? They ask Boots why he don't talk up and why he don't talk smack, and oh, I'm not that kind of guy. I'm not that kind of guy. When Blair Cobbs pulled up on Boots Ennis, he ain't had no issues talking back to Blair Cobbs. But when it come to Terence Bud Crawford, all of a sudden you're not that kind of guy, right? Yeah, I think we all see what the fuck going on right here, y'all. This nigga and his team don't want no smoke with a Terence Bud Crawford, but instead of saying it, they rather act like they want the smoke when they really don't. But I'm going to go ahead. I'm going to wrap the video up right here, man. Let me know what your thoughts is, bro. Hit it up in the comment section below. If you're new to the channel, be sure to subscribe. And everybody, and I do mean everybody, be sure to hit the goddamn like button on your way out. But until next time, bro, I'm going to holler at y'all, man. Peace.
You a smart man, but not that smart.